Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. We have got the whole gang back to discuss the relegation derby, as people have been calling it, the 20th place team versus the 19th place team. And the hook line is we are not the 19th place team. so welcome back, guys. Hi Deepak, hi Bob, hi Arun.
Hello.
Good day, guys.
So that has been the hook line for all the media to beat us with. Like they have been saying the same thing that it's a 20th place team. Norwich is going to have a easier game and all those things. But after having at least for me, I have put the Manchester City defeat in a box somewhere, right? I mean, not completely.
I don't think you're alone on that. People just want to erase it out of the memory. So
no, I mean, it's not about just erasing out of the memory. What I meant was like I have put that somewhere where it's not reachable right now. Like it's not so fresh. If this game has happened the next week, we would have had that fresh. But now I feel like we have that in our memory, but we do have some distance to it. We are feeling like, okay, that is Manchester City. We got lost. At the end of the day, it's a 3 points lost, right? That's expected. Bob, do you feel that way, or are you still like, oh no, this is going to be a very important game?
I think this is going to be a very important game because this is the first game of our season. We are starting afresh from scratch, so now much to look forward for the 35 game season that we are going to have. Definitely something to look out for.
35 game season. If we could start with 0 points, 0 goals, and -9 as a start to a season, that's not a good place to start a season, Bob.
I think the view that I have just has this 0-0, just for the 0 goals and then the 0 points that we've had. Beyond that, I don't have, my phone doesn't have the width to actually cover those things. So I just go with that.
This has become the plight of our Arsenal fans, that we'll as well blame our phone with instead of accepting the reality that Arsenal has been shit for the past 3 games. But Arun, so do you share that sentiment with Bob that this is going to be a start of the season for Arsenal?
Well, we don't have another choice right now, do we? I do agree. Like, I mean, given all that has happened before over the last 3 games, the first 3 games that we had, when we did not have our entire team, and the fact that we had injuries, plus Xhaka was present. I don't want to go too much on Xhaka, but then the good thing that we have now is he's going to be absent, so that could possibly be helpful. But jokes aside, I do believe that this is possibly like the best how do you put it, like redemption game for us. This, I don't think we can have like another better chance of playing a team that is ranked 19th, which means we know their quality. They were not in the Premier League last season, so this would be a great opportunity for us. And I fully expect us to win. So yeah, for me, this is the start of the season. Onward, let's go.
Okay, so the other side of that, Deepak, is that this has so much riding on it, right? Everyone is saying we are going to win this game, but what if we don't?
If we don't, it's time for Arteta to go. That's it. Simple as that. There is no point sticking with him. What, you go and lose against Norwich? As I told, like what, two parts back, like Norwich should be the start, like where we should really start judging it. Like if every game should be like we should have like 19 points or 18 points until the Watford game, and if we lose this game, then like what, like we will tell, oh, next game was the start of the season. It cannot continue like this. So he has to win this game, and there's no other way to this.
I agree. Yeah.
So that is the other overarching question in this, right? In this whatever run that we have been discussing, and we have discussed this in detail, Deepak, right? And you have mentioned that this run has to be that 18 points or 19 points, but this is going to be the situation where every other game is going to be a litmus test, as in, like, if we get 3 wins together and then if we lose a game, it would still bring back the
Yeah, it
questions.
would still be. Yes,
It would
of course.
still bring back the question. There is no point in this run that is going to be giving us the hope that no, after this, like 5 wins or 4 wins or 3 wins, yeah, now Arteta's position or Arsenal position is fine. Even if we end up, even after like another 5 games, we end up mid-table or we end up closer to 6th, right? Which could possibly happen. Even in that scenario, I think we would still have this doubt about Arsenal and Arteta, right?
Yeah, definitely, because like the start which we had has been like really bad. So to recover from that, it would take like at least like till December, I would say. But this stretch of games, the team has to prove that they have like at least improved with the players coming back. We have like a lot of like Partey, Ben White, Gabriel, and we signed an RB. Like all those players would come into the team, and we have to see
I think
like
you
how
forgot his
they.
name.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Tomiyasu. Let's call him Tommy.
Tommy, yeah.
So we have to see how they gel together, and plus we cannot give this as an excuse as well. These players are coming back, or it would take some time for them to gel. So it's basically like Arteta is like he is pushed against the wall. He has to like prove something. Otherwise, it's too much pressure on him. Like this Norwich game would have been like a regular 3-pointer. Given the start we had and given the pressure he is on, this is also is like it's a proper, I wouldn't say it's a relegation battle. It's a proper battle for him actually. And the stretch of games is like what, like until Watford, he cannot lose any of those games if you ask me. If we have to like move up the table, but still like we can give 1 or 2 games like leeway for him, but it has to be like that because of the start we had and the pressure he has put himself on.
But that is exactly my problem, Bob. So Arteta himself, from the start of his career at Arsenal, has always had this situation where even the last time when we had a great run after the December or whatever, whether you can call it a great run or whatever, but after Boxing Day, we had a good set of results out of the team, right? Even after that, even in the first season when we won the FA Cup, and after that, every time there is a string of a couple of losses, there is questions on Arteta. Every time there is like 2 losses in a row, or like when there is the team's not able to score, not looking freely, there is always questions on Arteta. Do you see any point or anything that could change that, like to take away the questions from Arteta's Arsenal? From like, okay, from now on we are okay, we even if we lose 2 games, we are like, oh yeah, we would bounce back. Do you see any point where we would get there?
Yeah, I think in a way, see, I don't completely support that, but in a way, the fans, what they are actually demanding is Arteta show a particular pattern of play that he can actually continue and sustain for a long period of time. Right when he first joined, he had this sort of honeymoon season, and then towards the end of it, he sort of papered over the cracks by winning up the FA Cup. Last season was just a let go, I would say. He could have actually built onto something, but then he chose to go sideways pass. If you talk about in football terms, there were some places, or we were patchy in our improvements, but it was not very evident to show that, oh yeah, when Arteta plays this way, this team is definitely going to win. There isn't anything that you could deduce out of any of these runs which the team had over the last season, and that's what is happening. I think the fans, they don't see anything really happening at all in a way that they could get some confidence to say, oh yeah, by now we should start winning games. possibly the only biggest hope that we all have for the Norwich game is the fact that we have many players returning, and their quality should be able to get the result against a lowly placed opposition team. Against Norwich that we are talking. Had we been playing City, for example, I'm not sure whether we would be having the same level of confidence despite having so many players coming back to us.
That is an actual interesting point. Will we so the coming back of players is one thing, right? But the other part of it is that Arteta is not someone who is going to be looking at individual talents to solve the problems on the pitch. He looks to be a person like, I don't care what your individual talents are. I want you to play in a structure. And we don't, as fans, at least for me, I don't understand what is that structure or what is that pattern of play, like Bob has mentioned, that he's trying to implement. Right, Arun? So, yeah.
He's not definitely that kind of manager. Then why is he giving an excuse saying these players are out? No, of course. Then he shouldn't be giving an excuse saying these players are out, this many players are out, so that we are losing points. It's not the case. So yeah, that's the point there.
Yeah, so right, Deepak, that is exactly what I'm trying to make, right? Like, we are making this excuse that these players coming back is going to push the team by sheer quality, but the quality, the player quality is not what Arteta seems to be looking at, right? He is more looking at, I don't care if Aubameyang is not going to thrive on crosses, but I would put on crosses because that is my way of playing. Right, I'm not saying that is what he is doing, or
that is what Bob mentioned. We haven't seen any pattern that is actually going to give us confidence. You said it right. If there is an Aubameyang as a striker who is known for his runs and cutting in, and you're giving him crosses knowing that he's not going to hit it, that's why people are not confident enough to actually support and say that this team is going to win.
So we have been talking about this players coming back. So let's put together a formation, or let's put together what we are expecting or what Arteta would put on the pitch on an Norwich game, right? So let's start with the goal. Goal is going to be Leno. Are you guys thinking like that's going to change anytime soon?
No.
Oh, no, right.
But the thing is, Leno, I think he was still with the national team.
I think he got back yesterday.
He did, but will he be match fit and ready or so soon? Also, people have been talking about there've been a lot of talks on social media about Ramsdale telling his friends and people close to him that there is going to be a change and there is a possibility of him playing.
I don't believe these sources.
These things don't seem to interest you guys. So.
No. This is not AFTV. We're not going to take up unknown sources. I mean,
yeah, I was trying to bait.
Yeah, but whoever starts will be the like for me will be the main man as usual.
but yeah, I think Leno would start. I don't think Arteta is ready to pull the jersey out of him and put it on Aaron Ramsdale, the number 1 jersey.
Yeah, but for me, both are at the same level right now, so I don't care who starts.
So the centre back position. Do you? I've been struggling with this question a lot. Do you see the Gabriel White partnership, which looks to be the partnership that we are looking for? In paper, it looks like, oh yeah, this is going to work. But do you have doubts, Bob, on the Gabriel and White partnership? And do you think that is going to happen? Because both of them are coming back from layoffs, injuries, and COVID and whatever. So do you think Arteta would be bold enough to put both of them on pitch, or do you think that's not going to happen? We are going to have one of them and then maybe Mari or maybe Holding.
Yeah, so I think it would be a three at the back defense with 2 wing backs. That's possibly how I see it, as with Gabriel, Holding, and White, all of them starting.
Again, Norwich, seriously.
Yes, against Norwich. That's because they've got legs to try this game, and they're all fresh after their injury layoffs and their breaks. So they would be in a position to start, and I'm pretty sure Arteta would be trying for 3-man defense at the back.
But
with Thierry and Tomiyasu covering for either flanks.
I have the question there. So, given that the opposition is Norwich, will going with three at the back actually send any sort of a wrong message to the fans, to the players?
I don't care
What
about
sort of
the
a
message.
message?
I don't care about the messages. I'm not going to
As long as we win, I'm happy right now. I'm at
Okay.
that stage.
Okay. All we need is a W. Okay, I get it.
But
Yeah, I think that's what would be the expectation as well from the manager, and he would. I think, although he wouldn't really say it outside, but he would think he would be in some sort of a pressure internally, and he would want to put a win back on. As the guys actually mentioned, a loss would put 10 steps back, or possibly even lead him to get sacked. Yeah, so let's not discuss that anymore. But yeah, I think I think it would be a 3-man at the back.
Interesting. Deepak, do you think it's going to be a 3-man at the back?
Probably, as Bob said, he would be trying to play it safe. That has been always Arteta's principle, like play it safe at first, not go for the win. It has been his philosophy.
But that's the side that I'm concerned about, right? Like, my concern is not that playing safe or whatever, but this international break, the whole point is bringing in new players, bringing in what he wants to do. That is what he has been mentioning in all his meetings, that I've got my players back. So if we are going to start this run of games with a back three, is that what he's trying to do? Like, we are going to play back three from now on, because that is the point, right? To start something.
Do we know what he wants to do? No.
Does he know what he wants to do?
Yeah, that is another thing.
Better question.
So yeah, like we don't have like a clear setup right now. We like fall back to back 4, fall back to back 3 or something. But the thing is, like, we don't know what he wants to do, or whatever he wants to do something. But so yeah, I don't see a problem with playing with back 3. Like, as long as you win and like you have like a proper structure and a way of playing, there is no difference in like which kind of formation you play. So if you are defensively good enough, yeah, it's good for me. Like, you win 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever. As long as it's a win, it's a win. So I don't care like we have to play like City and score like 5 goals every game. We don't have that personnel, and we cannot play like that with these people. So as long as he starts with a back 3 or a back 4, if we get a win, I'm happy with it.
But Arun, Tomiyasu was with the Japanese national team over the international break. I think he got back yesterday at the time of recording, or today, I don't know, whichever that is. Do you think that is going to happen, that he's going to come in straight into the starting line? I mean, I'm not talking about the quality. We know that of all our right backs, Tomiyasu could get ahead, even though we haven't seen him kick a ball at all, right? But still, he would get ahead of Chambers and Cedric. But for this game, do you see him coming straight into the team?
No. I think it's going to be Chambers starting at right back. Tomiyasu, as I think he's.
Deepak already is rolling his head.
the groan was so loud. But I think I think we can afford to take that chance with Chambers, given the opposition we have, and I think given the run of games that we have, we actually will have time to integrate Tomiyasu in properly, and not have him be forced and come into a league that he's not familiar with and get injured or whatever. We always have this curse with us, So given all that, I think we'll be going with Chambers. Tomiyasu will slowly be eased in. Plus, we also have to understand that he's as I said, it's a new league, but he's also coming from a league that is more defensive. The pace is very different, and he's coming from Japan. No disrespect to Japanese players, but then that is not a place where we see a lot of physical, fast players coming from, right? So all of this goes sort of against him, but his performances have been really good, and he's versatile. So for me, as soon as he comes in, he's definitely going to start, with on the right note, but he needs the right time to start. So I would say we'll go with the back 4, which might be different from what you guys are thinking. So I'll be going.
That is splitting the ball right at the center.
Exactly.
Even I think it's going to be back 4 too.
Back 4, yeah. So, Katie, Gabriel, White, and Chambers.
That is the point where I actually differ. I don't think both Gabriel and White would start together. That is too many risk factors for Arteta to put into
Could
the
be,
pitch.
yeah, and too many unknowns on the pitch.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if at all he wants to experiment or do something, this would possibly be the best opportunity.
So the other side of it, Bob, the midfield, right? That is a problem area for us for a long time. I mean, from the time that Arteta has come in, our whole passing, with whether it might be because of Xhaka or whether it's because of Arteta, I don't know the reasons, but our whole passing has been through wings. We never go through the center. As in, when we are talking about City style of playing, City goes through the center and then goes wide and then comes through the center and then scores. That's how it works. But for us, it's like goes through wide. That's all we are looking at. There is no center, right? And with Sambi getting his start with the Belgian team, I mean, Belgium is the #1 ranked team, and he has broken into that team. So for me personally, I would suggest we start with Sambi and Partey at the base of our midfield. But hearing from Arteta or looking at the training pictures, or I'm trying to read too much into it, maybe, I don't see Sambi being focused anywhere. So I am worried that maybe Sambi will not start. Maybe it will be a Partey Elneny center of the park. So is that what you're thinking, Bob?
Yeah, I think what fans think and what the manager does is two different things at the end of the day. We all were complete state of shock against City when Sambi didn't start, when the whole world expected him to be on the team sheet, ahead of everyone else. So yeah, I think to me, if I look at from outside, it's a no-brainer to me for us to start with both Sambi and Partey in the center. But what manager does, we don't really have an idea of. Elneny until yesterday was subjected to a bid from Besiktas, I think. So yeah, I think that transfer was rejected outright, despite the fact that Elneny is towards the end of the contract, probably is winding up next year. So given that, I won't be surprised if he starts with any other combination than what we spoke about. But most popular and most logical thing to do would be to give Sambi as well as Partey a chance to prove. To try and see how they both work together.
Because that is the point, right? If this cannot be tried with Norwich, where will we start this process? Right?
I agree.
All these gambles that we can take is to be taken against Norwich. But
Burnley.
but on that note, Deepak, ESR is unavailable, so Odegaard is going to be the number 10. There is no other choice there.
Do you think he will start as number 10? Like City game, he will play in midfield.
No, I know that is the case, but I think Odegaard is kind of what Arteta wanted, right? He wanted his man to be on the pitch, and his man seems to be Odegaard more than anyone else. And with Odegaard in the center and ESR not available, and for sure it's going to be Saka and Pepe. Right?
Is Pepe like back? The last 2 games back.
Yeah, he's back 100%.
Then of course it's Saka and Pepe. We have no other players.
But is Saka like? He was rested for the last game. Yeah.
So that is the question, right? So now Pepe and Saka are both back. For me, Saka works really good on the right. And that seems to be Pepe's preferred position, even though I would like him to play from the left. Do you see anything else happening? Or do you see Lacazette playing through the center and Auba on the left, Saka on the right? Do you see that 4 changing somewhat differently?
It can happen, yeah. We have Pepe, that could work, like start like Auba on the left and Saka on the right and bench Pepe and bring him around like 78th minute. Because Arteta doesn't do substitute at 60th, so yeah.
No, but in that case,
he's being unpredictable.
But for me, in that case, the problem is that Pepe is a player that we have for the future. He's not going to go anywhere unless we sell him, which I don't think we can afford to. And Lacazette, is a player that could be going out at the end of the season, right? That is almost certain that he's going out. So why do we have to spend our effort or our energy into putting Lacazette there? Let's play Auba at front. Let Lacazette be like, we could go and tell him like, hey dude, you are going at the end of this window, so you are here only for coming in as a substitute or whenever Auba is not available, because you are going out anyways. It's not a difficult conversation to have with Lacazette. And on that note,
Thing is, like, we play better with Laka as a center forward.
then we should
As
have
far
given
as-
him the contract, but we have given him. We have committed to Aubameyang.
Yeah, but like, if you have seen the games under Arteta, always we have played better with Lacazette as a number 9 or like a deep lying forward like Firmino or something. That has been always the case. So I don't know about like giving a contract to Lacazette and stuff like that. Probably we're looking at a like replacement for him. We couldn't find in this window. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would like still like start Lacazette and because I feel like we play better with him. So put Lacazette and, as you said, like Auba on the left and Saka on the right. So everything boils down to this point. As long as we get a win, whatever team is best suited to get this W, that matters. I don't care like if he's going next somewhere out or we have to groom Pepe or something. We don't need to groom Pepe. We paid 72 million for him. He has to play. What still we are grooming him for 3 seasons? No need of that. So as long as we get that win, whatever team he puts out, he should make sure that we get that win. So that is on him. So yeah, that's my point.
Anyone else want to take that question up? Like, has a different opinion of what the front four would be? Bob, Arun, any one of you?
Okay, for me, I think it would be Odegaard, Saka, and Odegaard, Saka, Aubameyang, and like I said, all 4 of them would make a start is what I think of.
If that is the case, yeah.
If I can just add, for me, I think it would be Auba, Pepe, Saka, and Odegaard. I would want Auba to play more because he's someone who he has another this season and the next season as well on his contract. We are definitely not going to be able to sell him off at the end of the season given the wages here. And so he's most likely to run his contract down the same way Lacazette. For me, at this point, I do not see the need for Lacazette to be a starter in games, even though he might be suited. I would want Auba to be the one who's getting more suited to start these games because we have to keep him for the next 2 years. So Lacazette for me is just going to be an impact sub throughout the season. I would want Auba to know the system, gel well in with the players, and then like continue on for the season because we do not have another option.
So I am also taking that bet. I have picked Auba in FPL and I have made captain this game.
Oh, okay. I haven't gone that far.
So that is the question, right? Because the whole point is that 0 goals scored, and Auba is someone who could change that 0 into something else. And this is a very important factor in Arsenal, attacking side of things, that Auba fires, because when he fires, goals come in. That's as simple as that. And Arsenal are lacking goals. And last season we were lacking goals from Auba, and that is what has led us to be a team that doesn't shoot, doesn't score as much. And this run of 6 games is actually a golden opportunity for Aubameyang to get back to scoring goals before the difficult games come in. On the note of goal scoring, though, I don't know if you guys watched the women's league game against Chelsea. If we could get Vivianne Meidemma to be our center forward instead of the women's center forward, she has scored 100 goals in 110 appearances with 0 penalties. How cool is that?
He's the GOAT. Yeah, no, I think no one could even come closer to her. She bagged the hat trick as well against Slavia Prague for the Champions League qualifying last night. So yeah, no, I think she's the best that we've seen in any women's football, and she could give a run of money for anyone. I mean, had she been put in an men's team, so that's how good she is. And I wouldn't hesitate to say that she could actually be the first one on the team sheet. Should she opt to play in for men's football as well?
Arsenal Football Club has made us follow women's football more religiously than before, because
I think even if Viv does come to the team, I think she'll also be equally confused with the tactics that we're having. You'll see 110 of 110 games and 100 actually like plummeting, instantly.
But okay, let's put a lid on the conversation for the game first. So let's talk about the key players, because Arun, you were spot on when you mentioned Xhaka to be the key player for Arsenal against City, whether it's positive or negative, but it turned out to be the golden touch. So let's put a key player discussion here, or a key players discussion here. For Arsenal, Arun, I'll get back to you because you seem to have that golden touch. Who do you think would be the key player for Arsenal?
Odegaard.
Just before that, I was going to say that Arun's golden touch is lost with Xhaka getting banned for 3 games. So.
Isn't that what you want, no, really? Isn't that the golden touch? Really?
That is the golden touch, actually.
I think I answered the pleas of a lot of fans, including Deepak, when I did say that. Yeah, but on a serious note, yeah, for me, I think the key man for this game is going to be Odegaard. Norwich are 20th. We know they're a low block team. They're not going to come out and attack us or give us any spaces to exploit. So we need someone who's very intelligent, very creative. And Odegaard has been having a really good international break. He made all those 13 key passes, though it was Gibraltar. You need someone. Of course, Gibraltar are going to be a low block team as well. Not making any comparisons. Of course, the quality is really high.
Sorry, Arun, just on that, he made 12 chances against Gibraltar.
Yeah.
That was the highest in a European World Cup qualifier, according to what Opta says. There's been one other Premier League player who has done that.
We got us.
Yeah, very good.
So that's where I feel like Odegaard is going to play a very, very big role in this game. He's the only one who can unlock that defense and get us some chances. So yeah, I'd go for it.
Bob, continuing on that discussion, who do you think is the key player for Arsenal?
It's going to be, to me, I would say Oba ahead of Odegaard, because Oba, I'm expecting him to finding his scoring touch. I'm sure he would score at least a goal is what I think of, and he would be a very important player to look out for. So yeah, I'll put my money on Odegaard. Sorry, on Aubameyang. Sorry.
So Deepak, to round off that discussion, who do you think is the
Aubameyang? We need to score goals. Simple as that.
Okay, so now that the Arsenal side of things are done, and most of us has put for me too, again, it's going to be Aubameyang because we want goals, and it's Norwich. Just to put the Norwich side of things, right? We know they have a lot of players who always gives us trouble. Like Pukki is there. What's his name? Todd Cantwell is there. Then Tim Krul definitely starts playing like a big goalkeeper against us. So Bob, I'll start with you on this one. So Norwich side, do you see a player that you could consider as a danger man, or do you see?
I'll mention a name which is apart from those 3 that you mentioned. It is Billy Gilmore. If he clicks, then we would have real trouble in breaking down passes and all those sort of things. So the key is to make him sort of quiet, and then somehow try and get the ball past midfield into attacking positions every now and then. So Gilmore would be the one to look out for. Of course, Pukki is very important because most of their goals come through him. But as long as we are able to hold off the midfield battle and we know it, then we should be having a fair bit of a chance. against Norwich.
Deepak, we were for Max Aarons for quite some time, at least from the media side of it, and we are. Do you see him as a danger man, or do you go along with Billy Gilmore's suggestion?
Yeah, I would. No, Aaron's is not that great, so I would still go with Gilmore. Like he's like a really great talent. I almost see Wilshire in him. He is like stocky, small, and he has a good passing. So if he, as Bob said, if he clicks, like it would be tough for Partey and whoever. If it's El Neni or Lokanga. Norwich is not a team which usually sits back and like defense. They always tend to play. That's why they lose 3-0, 4-0 and stuff. But so yeah, like as Bob said, it would be Gilmore and probably Pookie. Like yeah, any center forward turns up against us. So yeah.
Arun?
Pookie.
Okay.
Pookie. Primarily because we have the habit of like letting anyone score against us. And Pookie does have the habit of scoring goals, and he did have a good start the last time they played. So I'm going to say Pookie. And we have like a new defense as well. So Pookie, yeah.
We have been talking about Billy Gilmore being an young talent. There is another name in Arsenal media and social media, and I'm not trying to hype him up. I'm just putting it out there because we have been hearing a lot about him. Is Charlie Putino. Bob, that kid seems to be really good, at least from whatever videos I'm watching and stuff. And I'm not, again, with the caveat of not trying to sound like putting him up. Do you see him having any influence on the first team, or how good is he, and what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of media attention on him lately against, they recently played against Swindon, and although they lost, some of the moves which Patino did during that game was highly recognized. And even there was a mention from his scout who actually who found Patino, is the fact that he is apparently the same one who found Wilshire as well from the same team, Luton Town. So basically, they say
you forgot about Scout Reese. Apparently, 5 years ago, he was the one who predicted everything about like Saka. He said Saka is the real deal, and now he said
Reese Nelson. Deal. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. They sort of making remember the name Patino, and then people say, "Oh, yeah, that's what he said about Bakaya Saka." And now, like, dude, he's not even made himself a career at Arsenal so far. So, yeah. But yeah, I think there's been some talent in him. I don't really want to hype him up, as you said, because there's a lot of lot of things that he has to get past, and then he has to remain injury free, in the right frame of mind, the right team, and the right system. I hear a lot of things positive about the way that Mertesacker is trying to promote the youth from within, which is sort of driving some of these players out from Haaland. So it's good, very exciting to see. I mean, not just on him, I just want to touch upon the other two players as well, who's in similar sort of position, with Omar Hutchinson, and then with Miguel Assis as well, now joining Portsmouth, and he's as well been doing good from based on what his coaches as well been saying. So there are a few players to look out for sure. But yeah, I think as you said, let's not hype them a bit, and sort of pressurize them as such, but yeah, over a period of time, if they start to put such performances, then we might start to see them more near the first team.
I think he would break into the first team this season, given that Partey and Elneny would leave for Africans nations. We have just two midfielders.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Amen is there. So, but again. So, Bob, do you have your stat corner for us today?
I'll give it a try. I'll see how far we could go. In the last, 18 times that we played Norwich, the last time that we lost against them was a 1-0 loss in October 2012. So I don't really want that history to get
More
repeated for
record.
long.
One more record to Arteta to break.
In terms of the worst starts, I mean, talking about Arteta, I could not just think about anything else other than the worst start in the English top flight. Right after West Ham, we've had a better or worse goal difference in -10 goals. We are the second worst in that. So with -9. The only difference between us and Norwich is the fact that they have actually scored a goal, which we haven't so far. So
we are going to score 10 goals. That's what my friend said. And going to make a GD +1 in one game.
Again, I mean, with regards to the English top flight Premier League history, this is of course Arsenal's worst start. And in history, if you look at it, there is only once before that we've lost the first 4 games of a season. That was way back in 1923 season. So that's quite a fair way to go. Talking about the potential debut of Tomiyasu, I just wanted to ask you guys a question. Who was the last Japanese to have played for Premier League for Arsenal?
Junichi Inamoto.
No,
Ryo Miyachi.
Ryo Miyachi.
Oh, Miyachi. Oh, that's true. Yes. Inamoto did not play. He was just in the squad. Yes, now yes.
Ryo Miyachi.
Yeah, not in the Premier League era, at least, Arun. So that's something
Inamoto did not play in the Premier League. Yeah.
Yes. So it's Miyachi, who has played one game. I thought he never played a game, but then just like how we all were talking about Patino these days, back at the time it was all Miyachi. Oh yeah, we found a unique kid, and then he's the next big thing to happen in football.
We just keep talking about our players all the time. We never stop.
Yeah. I think that's about it in terms of the stats that I had. Possibly we'll have better things to talk about once after the game is over. At least.
All right, thanks.
I will tell the run extended to the Norwich run will be broken. That worst start of like 1923 will be broken.
Yes.
So Deepak, let's be realistic. Let's put a prediction on the line. Let's start with you. What is the prediction for the game that you are making?
3-0 for us to win.
Okay, 3-0 for us to win. And Arun, what's your prediction for the
2-0?
Are anyone of you going to predict who the scorer would be?
Aubameyang scoring hat-trick.
Oh,
I just want a goal. I don't care who scores it. Even if it is an own goal, I'll be happy.
Okay, Bob, what about your prediction?
I'll go for a 3-0 to Arsenal with Aubameyang a brace. And I would think either of Odegaard or Lacazette who scored the third goal.
All of you guys believe that Arsenal's going to keep a clean sheet. I don't have that optimism in me.
Can I change it?
I think so. Vijay.
I'll change mine to 2-1. I'll change mine to 2-1. Yeah. I'll change it to 2-1.
Come on, Arun.
No. I'm very confident about our defense. So I know that there's a goal in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I was going for a 2-1.
Guys, we didn't really touch upon the fact that we had our revenge on Brentford in our games. Come on, guys.
No.
It's alternate reality. So you have to start thinking about alternate reality.
No, never going to happen. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining in. It's been a nice pod again, and a pleasure talking to you. We will meet after the victory against Norwich. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Come on, Arsenal.